It's a pleasure to be here before this distinguished group. I'll say this, and I hope I don't make people mad, but I'm grateful to the Republican support I got to get reelected. I know without Republican support, I would not have been reelected. I said that in election night. They didn't run it in the media. I don't control that. But I thank you, many of you who stood with me on my record and what I have done for 24 years as your district attorney, and I thank you for that. I also wanted to talk about some of the things we've done in the DA's office. When we first took over the office, we wanted to do three things. We wanted to start a McGruff crime prevention program. Sheriff Haddon came to me and said he wanted to see 10 years for drug sellers. We now have a law on the books, and we did that. That if you sell within 3 miles of a public housing project or school, you get a 12-year sentence. Well, Houston County and Henry were the first to put 10 years on people who sold drugs in this county, no matter what the amount, where it was. And the first couple of years, we had to try those cases. And I give my judges credit wholeheartedly. They stood behind law and order. They gave 10 years on minimum for people who sold drugs in your community. And I assure you that's the #1 crime we have. It's committed the most often, that affects everybody, everybody's life, your property. That's the root of all the problems we have with all our other felonies is our drug problem. I did want to commend Judge Lewis. We had 4 of our deputies an individual tried to run over and kill. And I want to thank some media for giving me the credit of putting $500,000 bond on it, but it wasn't me. But I was criticized for doing it, but I can take that criticism anytime someone tries to run over our law enforcement officers, our deputies, and try to kill them. And then I have to listen that, well, they didn't really have any criminal intent, they didn't really mean to, all they had to do was stop. And they referred to my police, and the defense lawyer said they weren't my police. I said, yes, they are. They're my deputies because they're my victims in this case. And once again, I'm grateful to the judge, and I won't call out his name, who set those bonds, because he'll get to hear those cases at a later point in time. Wholeheartedly, my #1 goal after I started the McGruff Crime Prevention, 10 years for drug selling, and helped start the Child Advocacy Center very quickly after working with Judge Anderson and Tom Sorrell's a former DA. My brother's also a prosecutor. I realized the criminal justice system has forgotten one person. That's the victims. So this office has become a victim-oriented DA's office. We do basically what victims want us to do. If they want a trial in their murder case for their family, we're going to give them a trial. You know, if they want it to be reduced to manslaughter and that's what they want, we're going to do it. If they want a death penalty case tried, we're going to try it. Now, I can't sit here and tell you we've never settled cases. We have. But once again, our circuit has an outstanding reputation of being law and order. You don't have to go far, many counties away, to hear law enforcement say, we wish we had judges like you had, that you have in your circuit, in our circuit. That makes a difference for law and order. Once again, the Sheriff Hughes has done an outstanding job with his department. I see Jim Pike out there. I've known John Gormley pretty much all my life. But the DA's office, we're not a social agency. I'm not here to deal with social issues. I'm here to prosecute. I want to look you straight in the face and tell you, anybody that says we play politics, they don't know what they're talking about. The pretrial diversion program has saved money. It's provided money to law enforcement, to the county commission, to the circuit clerk, who does an outstanding job in working with us. She gets some of the money. Like I said, law enforcement who makes the case, they get some money to help fund their department. This DA's office has been big on furnishing money to law enforcement, and I mentioned to you, it's pretty pitiful when the Dotson police officers come and say, look, when we have a SWAT team, we got to go in the house, we don't have a shield. Well, that's good. And Miss Ott can tell you, her husband's a police officer, and that they don't have a shield and their life's on the line, or Jim Pike. And so we said, sure, we'll be glad to buy a couple bulletproof shields. As you see on TV, you know, that's money out of the DA's budget. I want to mention that we have collected more than $5 million for the business community in our hot check unit. That's very important. I've spent more than $70,000. You write a bad check in Houston and Henry County, and I'll extradite you back from Alaska. I've been criticized, and I said it's real simple. Just pay your money. You did it. The business community needs their dollars. They can't run the businesses without checks. 4, 5, 6, 7 checks can decimate a business. His office has had a long history of tradition of excellent prosecutors, going back to Farmer, to Judge Adams, to Judge Baxley, to Jerry White, to Tom Sorrells. Your DA's office has an excellent tradition of law and order. And there's only been 9 DAs that have served in that position. And I'm very humble and proud to say that I've served more than 25 years as the DA. It's been my life. I still enjoy getting up, going to work, and going to the courtroom.